What's going on, team? Welcome back to, of course, Start Swing Trade. We're ready and back into the trading cave and, of course, getting after it. It's looking good today. We had some new open positions that are definitely helping us out today, especially one. We'll talk all about it right here on Start Swing Trade, so don't go anywhere. Let's first take a look into the market and see if we're going to get ourselves a little bit of some power hour rally here. We'll take a look here. Let's take a look at the SPY first. You can see how we're bunching up right underneath the VWAP. Will we reject it and come back towards 432 or get above it towards the 433s? Take a look here at the Qs. The Qs look like they're trying to get above the 360s after really falling off the tape today. You can see it on the daily chart, but could still recover the support around that 360. So that's what I'm kind of keeping my eye on right now, especially closer towards that 360s. You want to just see it get back towards the end of the day. If it can reclaim that 360, I think you're still not out of the realms for a bounce back in tech. But let's take a look today. We'll get to some stocks. Of course, I do have some trades on. We'll leave those for in a little bit. Let's first go right into the rotation, see what trades are making moves. And of course, you guys out there, smash the like button. Let's get some more people in here so they too can see what's going on in the market. Let's talk about the leading sector to the upside. Actually, real estate getting a nice little lift here and going higher. You guys can keep your eyes on names here. Cheaper names, ILPT, getting a little bit of a lift up here. But of course, keep your eyes on some of these. I can definitely point towards the high capitalization names, PLD, AMT, starting to get a nice little push back towards the upside. American Tower has been kind of coming down really fast as of late. Looks like it's trying to get a little bit of a bounce. We'll see what happens. Real estate is definitely not an area that, I kill it all the time. I do take a look at this stock sometimes, PSA. That does look like it's trying to bottom around this 282 level, come back through 290s. But I'd need to see it get to 300 before I take part in this rally. All right, let's keep going. We'll get out of real estate. We'll go to energy, the second leading sector to the upside. Of course, I do have trades on here, so I'll talk a little bit about that. I do have XOM and I have Chevron, right? Well, there you guys have it, bouncing back to the upside. And right now, believe it or not, I also have a day trade on ExxonMobil. So I have a day trade on from 104.76. So we're not far off that level, right? When we cracked here, I started getting short off of the top of the day. We'll see what happens there on XOM. If it stops me out here through the 104.96, I'd stop out. I have about 100 shares in the prop account from 104.76. We'll look to see if I get stopped out here. All right. I also have, of course, the swing trade on. I want to continue watching WTI to see if we can get below into the 65 handle. We've been in the 69s all day. I've been kind of keeping an eye on WTI. Haven't made that move above 72. If we do make a move above 72, I'll probably take the profits here and run. But I'm also looking to see these get hit right back to the downside. We'll see what happens here on Chevron. It's had a pretty strong day here, back towards 155. Of course, I'm in from 158 on this one, so not going to stress about it. Just going to continue to watch. It could just be an energy kind of bounce back day, but I'm not seeing a huge driver in WTI and crude oil overall. So as long as that doesn't go back over, let's say 72, I'm going to stay in this trade and see if we can go lower through the 68. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other names out there. Smash it up. We'll keep watching Oxy here to see if this can come back down too. This one doesn't look like a bad little option, of course. Did Warren Buffett step back in today and save Occidental Petroleum? We don't know, but I'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep going. Let's get out of energy. Let's go to basic materials. Let's take a look at what led today. Copper getting a little bit of a bounce back. That's FCX or SCCO. You can see how these are starting to come back. And will they get a lift? SCCO is one that I'll definitely watch. I kind of actually like Southern Copper more than I like FCX, but that's just because I've traded it before. It's kind of catching that 71, trying to come back through that 75. I'm going to actually set an alert in the 74s here for SCCO to see if we can get back up to those levels. Same thing for Freeport, trying to get back up here towards like the 41. We'll see if it gets up above 40s. That's when I'd start paying attention to it. Of course, this is copper, so I don't expect too much here. WFG is one way that I've been looking to see if lumber is going to spike again in prices. Well, you can see it here. WFG looking like it wants to hold on the 80s and make another run to 85. Of course, I haven't played these often, the slumber play. So it's just something that I see strictly off the chart. All right, let's keep going. We'll go through the basic materials. I'll keep looking at it. If something stands out to me, I'll let you guys know. Aluminum, that doesn't look the best there. Steel trying to get a little bit of a lift. We'll see if this can actually hold on. Of course, the best one to breed is kind of like Nucor. I'll be keeping an eye on that one. And I like Steel Dynamics. When we do get runs in steel, I tend to look at this name to see if we're going to get a little bit of a push. Looks a little bit like a cup and handle recently. Will we make the move back above 110s and going towards the 111? I'd keep an eye on it to see if it goes right back above this 105, 110, 111s could be right back into play. And that's Steel Dynamics. Of course, you got X to keep an eye out for a move back towards 25. And this is anything that I'm jumping out of my shoes for because I just don't feel basic materials are the play. But like always, we got to keep our eyes open. All right, let's keep going. I see you guys in the chat. It's good to see you, The Crow. It's good to see Laura in the chat. We'll definitely take a look at some of those names. Steve, Raz, what's going on? Walter, EKS, having a good day? Seems like it was an interesting trading day indeed. Let's keep going. We'll take a look there. I'll let you guys know if I do get stopped out in that XOM. It just went up, now right back down. I'm trying to ride that towards like 104 here towards the close. We'll see if we're able to get it down there or not. All right, let's keep taking a look at some different stocks. Let's get out of basic materials. I just want to quickly run through the remaining industries here. Building materials continuing higher, so this hasn't stopped. I've talked about some of the bigger names here to see if these can take a lift, and these are building materials stocks, so don't expect a huge lift off, but the CRH looks interesting, holding pullbacks. You got CAR, of course, Carrier Global Corporation, this driving higher and continuing to stay strong. VMC, and then, of course, BLDR has been one of the strongest ones here. Look at this Builder's First Source and continuing strong and not turning around. Specialty chemicals getting a little bit of a lift as of late. I'll keep watch on names like ALB, SQM, names like that have, high play here. Nothing that I'm calling out for right now, but something to keep an eye out for. All right, what else is going well? Silver bouncing back today. Agriculture, this is nothing that I'm keeping an eye out. Coal was hot a little bit last week. We'll see if it gets hot this week. Nothing that's standing out to me. Of course, AMR is the top leading name for me in there, and you can see it. It's trying to build up, but not really getting that momentum. Gold up a little bit. Nothing standing out to me there. Getting a little bit of a bounce back. Let's keep going to utilities. Utilities, we're talking about like Duke plays like that. Well, getting a little bit of a bounce back today, but nothing that I'd keep an eye out for. Industrials seems really interesting. I've talked about this recent run. Of course, you can see it with XLI also, or you can take a look at the deer, right? Or the cat's out the hat. Getting a nice little bounce back towards that 240 today. So definitely seeing these strong stocks stay strong. You got UPS bouncing back. FedEx bouncing back today. And so there you guys see it right back up there. It did get hit on the earnings. It's right back up there to the 235. It just shows us that the industrial play is strong right now. So keep your eyes on those. Honeywell is one that I've been looking at for 200 run. Now it's right back up there. Now really starting to get going here around the 203s. So if there's one that I missed today, I would say it's Honeywell. And I'm also going to take a look to see if GE can recover. Of course, I've talked about the channel that it hasn't wanted to break. It's been a long time in that channel. It just broke it the other day. Now look how it's trying to recover right back up to the 105, 04s. And GE had a really nice setup earlier in the day when it was pulling back towards that 103.75 for a move right back up towards the high of the day. Look at that move right back towards 105. Not a bad little move there in GE. All right, I'm going to keep going here. We'll take a look at some other names, but definitely I'm going to keep an eye out on industrials. Diversified industrials, I think, could continue going. ITW is one that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. So keep your eyes on a name like this. I think it could continue going higher. Now it's rebuilding on the 9 EMA, could push up there through the 250 and take the next level out. We'll see what happens to these. And they don't look too bad here in the industrials. And of course, in industrials, you got a lot of different areas to kind of keep an eye out for. I'm seeing trucking get a little bit of a lift lately. Industrial integrated shipping getting a lift right now. Of course, FDX in that space, getting a nice little push higher. UPS getting a push higher. Rental and leasing getting a nice little lift. Tools and accessories. It just looks like there's not many industries here that are weak. They're pushing up towards the highs, and if anything, setting up for another drive higher. Maybe business equipment being the weakest one here. But other than that, I see a lot of strength in these names. So keep your eyes out. Definitely, this would probably be the one area I'd probably avoid just based on the chart. But there's some really nice, strong movement here. Even waste management looking like it wants to make a move. We'll see what happens there. WM. All right, let's keep going. And in the industrials, of course, you have the airline. So American Airlines pulling back to that 16. It's right back up there to 615, 1650s. I still remember when I was calling American down there at 13s. It now looks like a big opportunity that I might have just sold a little early. Look at the UAL. Look at DAL. Big move up in those names. I'm looking for those to continue. Remember, we got in love just a while ago for a nice little move. It pulled back, 50 cents? It's still holding on here. We'll see what happens to the airlines if they continue grinding higher. Jets pulled back. It's right back up there to 2027. We'll see what happens to these airlines if they can keep flying high, baby. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other names here in the chat. I do see you guys mentioning names. I do have a stock that I wanted to talk about just coming up. We'll get into my trades. Let's get out of the industrial financial services, bouncing back a little bit today. Let's take a look at the KRE. This is definitely going to be our indicator to watch what happens in the banking industry for the next couple of days. You can see we're pretty much just going sideways. I know that we had a little bit of a bullish day, but it doesn't really look like it's the biggest move, right? So I'll be watching to see if we cut down through 40s in the next couple of days on the KRE. All right, we'll see what else is saying. Interesting. Waste management. Is that like trash? Yeah, Raz. Literally, that's the trash. WM. Yeah, you're talking about the trash company right outside, picking up the dumpster. Yeah, that's it. No, WM is out of stock for years. We'll see, man. One thing I think waste management has is I think it has a good dividend, but I'd have to check to see what the dividend is. Overall, this weekly chart doesn't look too bad. Grinding higher, just recently kind of made a little bit of a push. Now starting to hold the 165s. Can I get to 170? Who knows? We'll see if that keeps pushing. All right, financial services, getting a little bit of a bounce back. Consumer cyclicals pulling back, of course. There's one area that I did take a shot in, and that's in home improvement stores. We've been keeping a close eye on names in home improvement stores. You guys have seen me stop out in Lowe's in the past, and I said, you know what? I'm not missing it this time around. I'm going for Home Depot, though. I went after Home Depot in the swing trade, and then I went after Lowe's in the day trade, the prop account. So I nailed the trade on Lowe's to the upside and nailed the trade on Home Depot. But I still got all the Home Depot right now. I haven't sold any part of it, and I got this at 303.88 today. So really nice pullback off of the VWAP, just slightly above, and now driving higher to that 308.12. So technically I'm up here almost about 5 points. So about 4 points up, a little bit over that, 1.38% already here on Home Depot, and a nice push out against this space right above it. I've been talking about this gap for a while now. Would we fill? I actually drew this on June 16th. That's how long I've been waiting, guys. 10 days to make this play. Today, I didn't struggle. I took the play, and now we'll see if I get that money. We'll find out, right? Only one way to find out. You guys call me out on it. We'll find out. Does the Home Depot go higher? I'm going to look for it to fill this gap. That's a move that it can go towards 315, even 318. So if I can get a move there to kind of like the 313, 314, I'll take majority of it off there and look to see if it can close the whole gap. This is not a bad looking move here in Home Depot. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. We'll see if any other company can keep pushing. Definitely Lowe's here. Definitely pushing towards the 218.50s. I sold this one a little bit early, maybe, but I rode it right back up there to the 218.50s. Can't be mad. It came back to the VWAP, bounced right back up there. But I was able to get this one off of the 216s, ride it right back up there, and sell it. Not looking too bad on that one. Still in this XOM. Let's see if this can really start to grind lower here and come down through the 104.50s, coming back towards that 104. I can see like kind of like a 15-minute resistance there, or maybe closer towards the VWAP. It starts to come in towards this 104.02s, VWAP around 104.08s. Let's see if I can get a little bit more. Take that money. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other stocks. Of course, defensive names are also kind of having a decent day, but it's just hanging in there. You can see a lot of the industries going up a little bit, but really not making a big move. Tobacco is probably the only area that I see getting strong here. Grocery stores look like they want to get a little bit of a lift, maybe some package stores, but it's not the area that I want to be in right now. You could still go after these names, but you're not going to get much on the upside. That's what I feel. And just got to be careful with names like that. Kroger seems interesting, but really it doesn't go anywhere. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Raz, I like how your shopping sometimes influence your stock picks. Yeah, I mean, they always say, trade what you know, right? Trade what you use. Trade what you see out there, right? A lot of times I do boots on the ground sometimes. And remember, I went on a cruise. I saw them packed. How did they do? Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Even RCL coming back today. It's at 97.20, team. A little part of me wants to short RCL a little bit here at this 97 spot because I just don't think it can go off that 100 and rip higher here, but it's continuing to hold. I'd have to risk off of kind of the 98.30 areas. This is definitely something that I'm going to be watching tomorrow for a potential short as CCL is coming down here. And it doesn't look as strong as these. NCLH, of course, let me go to that one. We've had this one for a while. We sold it towards the 17. Now it's pulling back here. Will it catch support? I think this one comes closer towards 17 first and then makes that run back towards 20. We'll find out on these cruise lines. Am I able to catch the dip and maybe even short it a little bit? I played it to the upside. Now I want to play it a little bit to the downside, and I want to scoop it right back up and maybe take another cruise to the upside. We'll find out. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other names out there. I did see Nike very early on in the day. I'm a little bit annoyed because I wasn't able to get this one today. It just didn't pull back enough for me to get it. And when it did, it just was a really quick one. By the time I saw it, it was already at 111s, was looking for a pullback towards that 110.50 area, and Nike continuing higher. It doesn't look too bad here. And I thought that would lift off a couple of different names in the footwear, right? I saw Crocs moving up earlier, and I was like, yeah, that might be able to continue the strength. Look how this is pulled back now. Is this an opportunity here on Crocs? Where's Jay? Jay's the Croc expert. Is Crocs finally breaking, or are we finding a little dip buy around the moving average, the SMA 200? Looks like they're trying to dip buy in here. We'll have to find out. All right, let's see what other names are going on out there. Technology definitely getting hit, and the leading sector to the downside actually in healthcare. So be careful out there as healthcare really took a whack today. Biotech's really taking a hit here, even in some of the bigger names, right? So just be careful out there. NVO pulling back, BRTX, Regeneron, not looking too weak. Regeneron actually looking like it wants to catch a little lift. But, of course, if biotechs are not in favor, not something I want to be watching. Moderna got an upgrade today for a buy. No, that doesn't look that good there. Of course, let me read that Moderna news this morning. I didn't get it too much there, so let me actually give it to you guys. Let me get my pre-market prep rundown here for you guys. All right, that note this morning was an UBS upgraded on Moderna to buy and lowering price target to 191. It got it a little lift there in the pre-market, but wasn't able to hold it in the actual open market here. And so we'll see what happens in Moderna if it can come back through the 121, going towards 122 tomorrow and catch a little bit of a lift. Not really a stock that I'm probably going to be trading here on Moderna. I just don't believe in what they have right now. Maybe they can bring something else out, but I don't think it's the COVID vaccine to keep them going. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on. Is Beyond Meat still a thing? Don asking. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've been a hater of Beyond Meat since the very beginning. And I think that everyone in this chat or anybody that's heard me for a long time has known that I've been a hater on Beyond Meat. I call it fake meat, fake profits. But the truth is, I mean, it did get some favor for a while. Look where it's down to, man. It's $11.94. I used to be calling this stock out when it was $220. Look where it's at, man. Is this still a thing? No, the truth is that with inflation, the way it's gotten to, I don't think anybody wants to go ahead and buy Beyond Meat products. Even if you are looking to stay healthy, even if you are looking for these, this was more about a short squeeze. This was more about people trying to bet this thing to zero and then maybe getting their face ripped off on this push. Now, can it hold this 1175 area and maybe catch a little bit of a bounce back towards 13? Yes, but is this a stock that I want to have for a long term or a swing? No, I think this looks more like it just popped right back into overhead resistance around this 14, caught that overhead resistance, and now it's right back down towards the support and could be right back down to 10 in no time. We'll see what happens out there. Didn't the CEO bite a guy's nose off? No, that Crow, that's your CFO, not your CEO. It's okay, though. You know, sometimes you get hungry when you eat fake meat, right? All right, let's keep going. Let's get to the next one. Let's get to some other stocks out there. But good mention in the chat, Don. I like the mention. And let me know, Don, do you like the fake meat life? I don't know. I can't handle it. I'll take a real burger, please. Real burger, a real steak. That's what I like. All right, let's take a look at some other stocks in the market here. Technology, of course, getting hit today. Let's go to the bigger boys, right? NVIDIA is really the stock that we saw leak today. And boy, was it a quick leak. It went from really quickly 426 down there almost to 400, team. The low print of the day I have there towards 401 on the dot. And man, that was a quick drop there. And you can see here, it's 25 points there on that drop. That could have made a killing today. All right, we'll see what else is going on there. Will we get a drop here towards the close? It looks like NVIDIA wants to drop towards the close. Looks like the Qs want to drop towards the close. SPY doesn't look strong either. Rejected that 433 move, so we could see some continued downside action here. Let's find out, team. XOM not really going anywhere down here, so I might just cut it here. I'm going to give it another chance there, but definitely don't want to get it through that 104.80s anymore. It did just do a recent spike, so I'll give it that one level again. But other than that, it should be kind of doing this kind of rejection off resistance and coming back lower. Not seeing that happen. But, of course, if it gets above that, we'll see what happens there and just get right back out. All right, let's keep an eye out on certain names to see if they do pull back. I'll see if Home Depot can keep pushing. Look at that move, 380.82 now, and continuing to drive higher. This one's not looking too bad, man. It might get to the point where I have to take profits even today. A move to 310 today, and I'll run to some of the profits. All right, let's take a look at some other stocks. Let's go through some of my trades that I have. Of course, I've talked about XOM, Home Depot, Chevron, but I got two more that I still have. I still got Adobe that I'm trying to continue working down and see if that can continue working in my favor. And then I opened a new position in QS. QS buying the dip a little bit today towards 695. So we'll see what happens on this one. I could stop out on this one really quickly. I'm going to do it to like 650. I'm looking to see if QS can come back up through that 770. But, of course, this one's not anything that I'm feeling too confident about. You can see I'm only risking about like what? We're talking about 45 cents on the name. So not trying to risk too much here, especially on a cheaper name. All right, let's see what other names are making a move in the chat. If you guys got a name in the chat that caught your attention today, definitely throw them up. I'm going to take a look here at Tesla. Tesla getting a downgrade today, definitely taking a big hit, and now has been going sideways for a while now. It's back to the 244. I've been looking for this move for a while. Missed the move on that day that it just broke out to 275. That could have been definitely a really nice trade here. But the next trade that it seems like it wants to do is the gap fill. The gap fill down there towards 235. Will it be a straight move down there? I don't think so, but definitely looks like it wants to cut right back into that space and close up that gap. We'll see if Tesla is able to find some support. Amazon was doing well early on in the day, was actually pushing. It was getting a nice little move there to 131, and then really quickly just got the pullback. I actually was able to even make money on a day trade to the upside on Google today. Probably not many people did make money on an upside trade on Google today, and that's pulling back also. We got to be careful with these names because they do look like they want to pull back to the 50 moving average, especially Google here. How's Apple looking like? Definitely looking a little toppy here, right? We'll see if this can just continue the strength. But if it breaks that 9 EMA, that's where we really got to be careful. That's a close below 185, and it could easily be even there tomorrow by the open. So let's find out what happens here on Apple if they want to start pulling back to the 50 moving average. Amazon's next move, I could see a pullback here, trying to come back towards 124. As long as they can hold the 9 EMA around the 127, maybe that can hold. But if we start breaking that back down towards 125, see 124 pullback, and maybe getting back here eventually towards 115 on bigger pullbacks. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what happens in the market today. Just trying to keep battling out here, trying to see if the Qs are going to take another leg lower or just kind of hang in here for the end. Of course, AMD was another one that I was looking at today, and man, this thing just flipped right back down. I actually got caught in this downturn and was able to stop out really quickly on a loss there on AMD. Took a loss there on AMD about what? Like $46 there on the prop account, but was able to get out there, and that's what mattered. Got out there at 1096 right before that 1011 crack, or right at that 1011 crack, and that definitely saved me a good 3 points, almost 4 points. So you got to know where your out is, and it's not about keeping stocks when they blow through our risk, right? That's what I like to do, is cut it. I can always come back in the name. What I can't do is hold it and destroy the account. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. I know Lucid was mentioned a lot in the news today. Of course, they had news. Let's talk a little bit about that. Their news were trading higher after the company announced the technology partnership with Aston Martin to integrate and supply Lucid's electric vehicle powertrain and their battery system. It was a contract worth in excess of $450 million. That still couldn't save Lucid. That's not good news if that can't save Lucid here. So definitely be careful out there. This could keep going lower as it just doesn't get the love right now, guys. So you got to be careful there. We'll see what happens on this, but it doesn't look good at all for Lucid that it can't even hold one day to the upside. And this does not look good at all. We'll see what happens in different names. Even look at Fisker, now down to 493. A little part of me feels like just taking a shot eventually on Fisker just for a long term. It's either going to go bankrupt or I might have a company. Who knows? That's how Lucid is even looking like now. We'll find out, guys, right? Ford, that was hanging on here, trying to make a little bit of an up move on the day. Doesn't look too bad there at 1421. Will this eventually make a move there towards 15, or will it just come crashing right back down? You can see here on the daily, it's hanging on there. Can it make that next step up? We'll see what happens. I'll be looking at Ford and GM to see what happens there. I hope it doesn't mess up Aston Martin. Yeah, I mean, Aston Martin probably just wanted the technology. So strictly speaking, I think they could make the car themselves. But this is going to make them be able to get a vehicle out faster. And if that is true, then why not, right? Why not get your vehicle out faster, put the brand on, start competing with different vehicles out there like the Porsche and things like that, right? Ferrari, we'll see what happens. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on out there. AI just getting hit today, now towards 32.36. One that we were trading earlier today that looked good. Sound made a nice move there through the $4 spot, all the way up there to 460s, and then eventually just turning right back down. So we'll look to see if this one can continue climbing, but definitely Sound. It did a little spike today, just wasn't able to hold it. All right, I can take a look there at GFAI. I got no problem taking a look at there, Lucas. Just smash a like for me. GFAI, of course, is a cheaper AI name that has pulled back a significant amount. It's actually close towards where this actually pushed from. So that's not the worst. Maybe you're able to hold off that $5 here. But the truth is, this stock is in no trend telling me that it wants to turn around. If anything, it's breaking through support and telling me it wants to go. But the only thing you can hang your hat on maybe is an undercut and rally type of trade. What do I mean by undercut and rally? You should undercut support, get a lot of volume to come in, and then come back up through the levels. This doesn't really necessarily look exactly like that, but at least you had that recent volume spike, right? We'll see if that volume spike can do anything to get it right back around. All right, let's keep going. First Solar at this level, Northern Western Canopy. That's a good outlook. Let's take a look there. With, of course, technology kind of coming back to the downside, we were looking at First Solar to get cracked. I had these lines already drawn. You can see they're created 616. We're going to take a look here, but First Solar breaking from that 188 and using it now as what? As resistance. So now that 188 level is the resistance level. That's the level that a lot of people are probably looking on for shorts. So now this gets whacked there through the 184. This looks good for me for actually short conditions now. As this starts to come down, I also like different names for shorts. SEDG has already come down. Maybe the 260 hits as resistance and comes right back down. ENPH, I could see that cracking a little bit further. Stocks that were strong. MaxN. MaxN was pretty strong. It was trying to go higher. Now the leader in the industry is starting to break. I could see this chart breaking down also. So First Solar, where's the next stop for this? I say next stop is closer towards 171 in the 200-day moving average, which puts it around 172.36. But from that level, maybe you're down there towards the 160 and then find a bounce. But for right now, this one definitely starting to reject the long-term trend line and now using it as resistance. All right, let's keep going. Aston Martin, the heck with that. Let's go. Porsche 911 Turbo Zoom, baby. You know it, JRP. Always love you in the chat, my friend. All right, let's take a look at some other stocks. That was First Solar at these levels. And definitely, for me, it's a short. But hey, to each his own. All right, we'll see what happens on this one. You can see how much it leaked today. And it made a little bit of a bull trap. That's hard to deal with, guys. It made that move to 187 and then just flushed down 10 points. That's tough to deal with. All right, here we go on XOM. Now we're getting the reaction that I was looking for. We drew it up here. Now you guys are seeing it, what? Actually go into the green now decently and rejecting that 104.77 level to the key, man. This thing went right back to that level. I drew that up and it resistance held perfectly there. Now we're back to support, so we got to look to see if we crack it. So we went right back down to this support. Remember, I drew this line. Can we get to these wicks? These wicks were 104.46, 104.45. So that's the next level to look for that I'm looking to crack back down towards 104.25s. Then we can take some profits into the VWAP 104.14. This doesn't look too bad. I've been in it with 100 shares for a while now from 104.76. We'll see what happens here. All right, let's keep it going, team. Smash the like if you guys are enjoying it. Some live trading action, some rotation talk, some swing trade talk, and of course, any stock that you guys want to take a look at. That's why I'm here today, guys. Throw them up in the chat and hit up those likes. Let's see what else we can get into and maybe find a little bit of a play towards the downside. Let's go looking at Starbucks. That was one that I definitely wanted to look at today. And it's just been hanging out. So this is going to be one that I'm going to swing trade to the downside. I think this could continue going lower here. So I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller trade entry here. I don't mind taking it at 98.50s, but I'm going to just take it here off the 40s. All right, got a little bit there at the 42s. So just got there at 98.42. Is going to go to the downside here on Starbucks, looking for this to kind of break daily lows and really just go lower. Where would I not want to see it get back to? Well, I don't want to see it get back there towards Friday's high. So Friday's high is around 99.64. So that's going to be kind of the level that I could risk off of. And where's the real cut down? The real cut down's through 97. So that's going to be the level that I'm going to look for it to break and start coming right back down to this huge support. So there's a pretty big level there on Starbucks. If it can break that 97, I think we could get back down towards 92 and even 90. We'll find out there on Starbucks. All right, going for a little Starbucks swing. So you guys seeing a little bit of live action. I don't mind taking a little bit on this one. I shorted this one on Friday on the day trade. Now I'm going to swing it to the downside as it came back up and just holding here sideways, looking for a cut down. There's XOM for a little bit of a cut right towards the support, but it recovers there. Hit the 43s this time, right back towards 50s. I don't want to see 54 recover here. I want it to keep going and leaking down on the day. Anything back above 104.60s, I'm just going to take my profit and run. All right, so just keeping that eye on that. I'm going to even adjust here my stops so that I'm ready to get out of it if I need to, above that 104.60s. But if it can keep just trailing down, I got no problem with that. It can just keep trailing it down there. All right, so I'm setting this up here, 60. Let's do 65. All right, so just set that up there in the prop account. We'll see if this one can keep going lower. Now we're towards 104.43s. Let's get this down there towards 104.20s, and then I can take majority of it off and celebrate a nice little win here towards the end of the day. Let's go, baby. All right, I got some different stocks coming in here in the chat. I got you guys. We'll do a little ticker time here, especially the next 6 minutes, and then we'll take a look at the final action towards the close. Let's go to Michael first on Bank of America, one of the stocks that I view as the bearish move right now. It doesn't look bullish to me by any means. It looks very bearish. You can see here on the weekly. The weekly, I think, is going to describe it a little bit more. So you got this down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3. We could make a little bit of a move to 29 and then a rejection. But if it doesn't get out of this consolidation, it looks like this wants this down move through 27. And that could be a bigger down move. So as long as it doesn't get back above 30s, I don't see this as bullish. I see this as bearish. We'll find out what happens there in Bank of America. Uber to 50. Not a bad comment in the chat. Let's take a look at that. Uber is up there towards 44.68. And you guys can see the levels that I had drawn. This is really kind of pushed up through these levels and hasn't looked back, especially since this kind of little trend line breakout that it had there. And the flag measurement on that was about 13.68 from the breakout. How far have we gone? We've gone about 13 points. So maybe we have a little bit more, maybe a move here towards like kind of this 46. That seems logical to me off of that flag break back to the upside. So as we get closer to 46, that seems like a logical level to see this turn a little bit. And then, of course, I see your 50 logical level. You know, that's like right above that. That's closer towards the monthly resistance. So you can get through 46 there, maybe. But I think that that's going to be a little bit of a tough area to keep pushing through. As the 9 EMA, this light blue line, stays at the bottom, I would still like the stock's momentum. And maybe I can sell on a rip and then look for it to come back down to that level. Or I can continue watching that level and maybe trend trading it, keeping that watch of that. If it does close below that, you could get out. That's a way of trailing a name. But of course, you make your own investment decisions. Let's keep it going, team. All right, I'm going to keep going and try to get through as many names as I can for you guys. You guys do me the favor, smash that like. Vera, let's take a look there. Therapeutic stock going through almost 18, almost filled the whole gap. So if this stock fills the gap, that's where I would definitely get the heck out of this. And it just filled the gap on the wick, so be careful there. But you could still make a run here towards kind of closer towards this support of 19. But definitely, are you getting to that extended area? Yeah, my historic RSI on this, tells me that this stock doesn't like to get above 90 on the RSI, even when it makes huge jumps like it did over here towards like 34. Not very often does this stock get above 90 on the RSI, and you're at 84.50, definitely near the top. The only question is, how much more does Vera have? All right, we'll keep going. NEP brought up in the chat. Let's take a look there. NEP coming down here. This looks like a short to me. Looks like a lot of resistance in the 64 handle. And what do you get here? You get a down one, right? Up one, down two, up two, down three, up three. Now you're looking for a break of support. Support was over here. You did this extreme moment where something news related probably drove it down there. Now it looks like it wants to cut right back down to 55s and 56. So this looks like a bearish action move to me, and I would need to get it back above 61 if I'm looking at the bullish side. But for right now, this looks like it just wants to fall off. All right, going to keep going. Going to take one more here. It's about 348. So maybe I get two more in here. Lyft trying to push off the bottom. This one has been trying to push off the bottom for so long, but just look at this weekly. As long as this doesn't change the trend here, I would stay the hell away from Lyft. And yes, can this change the trend? Yes. But at first, going to have to come through this support here, this prior support, and try to get back up above 12s. For right now, it's kind of in this other pattern here on the weekly towards like kind of 11s. So first needs to get through 11 and 12 for me to even think about looking at this on the upside. I personally would stay away from Lyft. They just have underperformed, and I don't see this changing anytime soon. If you see that changing, I understand why you're taking the long, but I see underperform, and I see Uber as best of breed. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at one more here in the chat. TSM, interesting stock in the chat. Why not? Northern Canopy Development, bring in some interesting ones today. Let's take a look here. TSM pulling back closer towards that 100. This is the stock that I've been calling the scariest stock to be in. Why? The stock doesn't move much for me, and it has extreme political risk right now. So can you trade it? Yes, by all means, power to you guys if you guys can trade this. I can maybe day trade this, but even when I'm day trading this, I'm always scared that I'm going to get something on the tape, right? I can't swing trade this even. I wouldn't be able to sleep on the weekend knowing that China can invade Taiwan at any moment and destroy my position, completely destroy it. Because I think if China invades Taiwan in one day, I think this could be down 20, 40, 60%. So with that being said, I would stay away from TSM. And if anything, it looks like it wants to come back into this 97 space. And it looks like kind of it just got tippy top right here around that 110. Now looking like almost kind of like a little bit of a head and shoulders coming back here towards 95s. Maybe a short, but even then, I just don't like it. It's not going to give me much on the downside. It's not going to give me much on the upside. I'm personally staying away from TSM. There's other players that I could play. AMD, I can play those. I can play Micron. I can play, Qualcomm. And will those get hit on the day that TSM gets hit? Yes, but I don't think as much. And it at least has a little bit higher potential reward for the upside. That's just the way I see it, man. If you don't see it like that, I feel you. I understand that. The truth is that it's just too much risk here for me to kind of go in these positions. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Let's take a look at that. So AMD, yeah, something like that. I would trust a little bit more on AMD. Yeah, would it take a hit? Yes, but at least I trust that company coming back with growth that could get it back to these levels, right? If it takes a major beating because of an overnight catalyst. TSM, if that catalyst comes in, the company could really kind of just get destroyed, right? And then that's my problem here, is that I don't think there's a turnaround if that does happen. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other names. CCL barely got out with my ass this morning, says Dano. Don't worry, I'll say it for you. It's okay. It was a definitely hard name here, and it's coming right back down. My thing is this stock has just gone too far too fast. So I talked about it this morning before when it just cut through 15 in the pre-market. I said this stock looks like it wants 14 here, but the only problem is what if I go after it at 14, let's say shorting there, how much more do I have on the downside? maybe this crack into this gap towards like 13s, but that's not enough for me to come after it here. And then if anything, it looks like buy the dippers could come in between this gap and get the stock right back up. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on different names like RCL for a turnaround back to the downside. And you can see it here. It's battling. It's trying to hang up there. Tomorrow, if this cracks 96 and we see RCL going down and we see CCL kind of leading to the downside, I won't go after CCL. I'll go after a relationship and try to short RCL off of that. Now, will I be looking for these for dips on the dailies eventually to maybe go long? Yes. But for right now, I see them on a little bit of a pullback and taking a breather of the recent rally. All right, guys, it's 3:53 here. We're going to slowly wrap it up here. Seeing XOM make a little bit of a move here. And man, guys, I just missed my opportunity talking to you guys. It was down there to 104.20s. And boy, did this spike right now in the last 3 minutes. I was here talking too much charts, not watching the profits, baby. Should have had that order ready there at 104.20s. It went to 104.19 right on the dot here, team. So a little frustrated on that. Just watching, it happens, team. I was over here looking at the trade. Let's see what happens. If I can take it out of here at 104.40s, I don't mind just taking it out. Should I got a little bit more? Yeah, but hey, you can't complain about it. Just going to go and take what I can get here. I'm not going to let it get back above 104.50s. I'm just looking for a little bit of a dip right back down to take some profits. Here's the 40s. We still got a little bit, so let's see if I can break the 40 here. Back up through that 50. I'm just going to take the profit and run. Should have definitely taken it here, though, towards that 104.25 area. We were talking about it, but you know how it is, guys. I do it for you guys, man. I do it for you guys out there. No, it's just how it is, guys. I mean, doing the show and then taking stocks from you guys, it's very hard to stay up with live trades, right? I would have to keep this up and just let you guys stare at a screen. I don't want to do that. All right, let's see if it gets back above the 104.50s here. If not, I'll just take it and run. I'm just literally I'll even set a stop there to kind of keep me to my words. There you go. I just got hit. Boom. Took it. Took it there, guys. I'm out taking that profit. Man, only about $30 when I should have made like another 60. It's okay, guys. I won't get frustrated about it. I had the good trade, good mentality, good outlook, was looking for the move back down to VWAP, just wasn't ready to take profits. That's how it goes sometimes, team. All right, let's keep going. It's how it goes, team. Don't worry, I won't be. It's just another day, right? And the good thing is, one thing you get as a trader is you get to a certain point where things shouldn't necessarily frustrate you. It's just another day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we get a little bit more on XOM. At least the swing trade looks a lot better with these prices coming right back down towards the close. Like Chevron, look at that drop. That would have been a nice one to catch. Look at that drop. That one was a nicer drop than XOM. All right, Mitch, it's not easy on the ears to hear that you keep missing the opportunities. It's just how it is, man. If I was just trading, nonstop there, definitely would have nailed that XOM. But that goes and happens, team. I hope that you guys enjoy everything that I put into this show, right? All the time, the talk, the charts. The truth is, I hope that you guys can improve. That's why I do this show. And if you guys aren't improving, then let me know how I can make that happen, right? Because the truth is that's what I want. I want you guys to learn from my process, how I go about things sometimes, even taking live trades in front of you guys, and then making better moves, right? Improving our strengths, learning from my weakness. If anything, turning my weakness into your strength. That would definitely make me happy. All right, let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up out there, team. We'll see if oil can keep coming down. And why did I keep playing the oil to the downside? Because oil had not broken that 70 mark WTI all day. We got up there at 127 towards 69.94. We turned right back around from 70. I'm looking for oil to go lower here. We'll find out overnight if that does go lower. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on there in Chevron. It does look like it's going lower. XOM right back down there, man. It's a crazy one. So we'll see what happens there. It's right back down to 104.20. So maybe I just rushed towards the profit there. Maybe shouldn't have set the stop because I did get hit real quick at that 104.50s. But that's life, guys. And I think what more important is the swing trade aspect, right? I've been holding this from 108 all the way up here, looking for this to keep grinding lower. We'll find out if XOM can eventually break that 100. All right, Home Depot, how's that looking here? That got all the way up there towards 309 today's now pulling back. I'm going to keep holding on Home Depot for the swing trade and see if we can keep pushing higher. Starbucks already a little bit into the green. That started breaking down a little bit here towards the close. So feeling good about the Starbucks short. We'll see what happens on that tomorrow. And then, of course, I'll keep watch on different names. I got about 5 swing trades on today. You guys can catch all the action, of course, tomorrow. Live trading and pre-market prep. Every single morning, we start up at 8 a.m. Eastern. We get into the markets with Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick, and myself, and then get over to live trading with Lord Ryan, Zunaid, and I. We get into these swing trades. I get into live day trades. Don't miss that, of course. That starts every morning about 9, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys, like always, bright and early, and keep pushing. I got a special surprise for you guys tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on Start Swing Trade, and keep trying to improve those skills. That's what we're here for, team. It's not about the hero trade. It's about trying to what? Get in the profits, man, and keep those profits going. We'll see you bright and early right here on Benzinga. Start Swing Trade, where you learn about swing trading and even a little day trading action. See you bright and early on Pre-Market Prep.